Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. Columbia University released the results of a study on the child tax credit, which lawmakers allowed to expire at the end of last year. The results are exactly what you'd expect of this study. And it's going to cause Democrats to lose big time in the midterms. So even more importantly, though, based on another newly released study, it's going to have a negative impact on the brain activity in children. So I'll get to more on that in just a minute. But first, here's the deal and what they found in regard to this child tax credit study. Millions of children fell back into poverty, and minority communities were hit the hardest, as we would expect. The study revealed that between just December 2021 and January of this year, the child poverty rate went from 12.1 to 17%, a 5% increase in just 1 month. Now, just to put that in perspective, there are now almost 4 million children who are living in poverty in the United States. They said that for Black and Latino children, it actually increased even more. Over that same period of time, poverty increased for Black children by 5.9% and by 7.1% for Latino children. And no, these aren't people who are just too lazy to get a job. They found that these people that were receiving this child tax credit had jobs. And in fact, they used that money for food. They used it for education. They used it to better their lives. They have jobs. Some of them have multiple jobs. But when you live in an area that only offers you a customer service job, let's say at, a local dollar store or waiting tables at the local Piggly Wiggly, what are you going to do? It's not like these people have money stashed aside that they can just pick up and move to another state or another town. So now we have, on top of that, massive inflation, which is putting an extra burden on these people because our government won't do what's necessary to stop corporate America from erroneously raising prices just because they know they can. Their costs didn't go up in most cases. It's been proven and verified that they see how easy it is to get away with increasing costs right now. And this is absolutely going to tank Democrats in the midterms. Like I said, that's also a fact because there's new polling that shows that as soon as the child tax credit ended, Democrats' poll numbers plummeted. According to Morning Consult, they conducted a poll on February 5th and 6th, and 3 out of the 4 people surveyed said that the expiration of the child tax credit affected their financial security. In fact, 37% said it had a major impact on their financial security. And guess what? These people are pissed and they're blaming Democrats, rightfully so. Among recipients of the child tax credit, so the people they polled who actually did receive this child tax credit, support for Democrats dropped precipitously after the payments ended, and support for Republicans increased over that same period of time. This is a political disaster. Morning Consult stated, quote, Biden's approval rating has recently been on the decline among all voters, but it has been more dramatic among child tax credit recipients. The latest survey found 43% of those recipients approved of Biden's job performance, down 13 points since the December poll, while the share of those who disapprove increased 15 points to 56%. And of the child tax credit recipients they polled, 57% disapprove of Biden's handling of the economy. Gee, I wonder why. That figure represents, by the way, a 14% increase just since December. But please tell me again about how progressives who want to help more people are out of step with average Americans because, oh, we're just too radical, but forget about the political consequences, because really the most important thing are the moral and ethical implications of this entire scenario. What are we doing? Like I mentioned earlier, there was a study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. It revealed that when poor mothers were provided with just a few extra $100 a month, it improved their baby's brain activity. What they did is they gave 500 women $333 a month, and then they gave a control group only $20 a month. And they did that for the entire first year of their child's life. Researchers said that there was an increase in the baby's brain activity in the group that was receiving the $333 a month. And that this brain activity that they noted is associated with cognitive development. So Dr. Kimberly Noble is a neuroscientist. She helped to lead this study. And she told journalists, quote, "This is the first study to show that money in and of itself has a causal impact on brain development." So they plan to continue with these payments in the study until the children reach age 4. And they're still trying to determine which factors actually contributed to the improved brain activity. So they're looking at things like, obviously, healthier food choices, less parental stress. Maybe the mother was able to work fewer hours, spend more time with the child. And of course, Republican lawmakers, and many on the right, they're going to argue. They're going to say, oh, this is going to make them lazy. If you give them a little bit of cash, they're just going to be lazy. They're not going to want to work. No. Not only is no one quitting their job for $333 a month, but that whole lie has been disproven in other studies. You guys may remember, I talked about this quite a while ago, maybe like a year ago or something. But in fact, there was this study that they did. They were giving people, I believe it was like $1,000 a month. And it actually helped some people to get a job because they could afford to go get an appropriate outfit for interviews, or they finally had money for transportation to get to interviews. One guy said, oh, I could finally afford to take a day off from my current job so I could go out and interview for higher paying jobs. Because when you're paid hourly, if you're not there, you don't get paid. You get nothing. So how do you take off an hour or two to go to an interview when you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can't afford the roof over your head and the food on your table as it is? So this guy was able to secure a better paying job because of that stipend, and it lifted him out of poverty. This is all well documented. It was here in California, up north, and like I said, where are all the pro-lifers at? You can't feed a child and keep him or her alive without money. They do know that, right? And if everyone wants a better, safer society filled, I don't know, with maybe people with critical thinking skills who are going to do better in life, they're going to do better in school, they may get better jobs, then doesn't it make sense to give families a tiny bit of money today so that the adults of tomorrow have better brains, they have brains that are better developed? There would be a lot less crime. There would be a lot less violence. The neighborhoods would be better taken care of. There would be less drug and alcohol abuse. I mean, isn't that conservatives' wet dream?
Help me help you.
And how is it that in the wealthiest nation on the planet, we have double-digit figures of children living in poverty, millions and millions of children? Yet you have ass clowns like Jeff Bezos out purchasing yachts so big that they were literally considering in Rotterdam dismantling a historic Dutch bridge just so that they can get his vessel out to sea for Mr. Scamazon. You guys, we are sick. As a society, we are sick. And for me, if this is what capitalism looks like, complete and total inequality, human suffering for no other good reason than selfishness, greed, sign me up for socialism every day of the week and twice on Sunday. If this is what capitalism is, starving children. No thanks. Anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear any more about any of this. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.